In less than a month, we are going to see the launch of Battlefield 6 with astronomical numbers for their beta, absolutely breaking all their records for players in all of Battlefield history. I called it in my Battlefield 6 review. I reviewed the beta and talked about the stuff that I liked and didn't like. And I was right. I was right about everything about the game. It was fun. A lot of people enjoyed it, and it's just what people were looking for in the FPS genre, right? As a community, as all the people who enjoy first person shooters, we have been waiting patiently for a game to actually be fun and enjoyable, and for it to not feel like you're being manipulated like you do with a certain little game that I love to talk about, which is Call of Duty. But that's not what we're talking about today. Unfortunately, it seems like the Battlefield leaks and just kind of everything that has been going on with Battlefield Labs has just been slowly dripping out of the seams, right? It's been leaking all over the place. And, of course, we're seeing a lot of information about the Battle Royale, and we're seeing a lot of information about just the general game. Overall, we're seeing all sorts of features coming back. And I'm not going to name anything specific because I don't want to breach any contract or anything, but I'm not part of Battlefield Labs. I'm not part of any of their partnership programs, but it is interesting to see all the stuff that's appearing online, and it's got people somewhat excited for certain features, and it's got people definitely a little scared for others. And I'm in the same boat. I'm right in the middle, kind of looking at both sides, and I figured I could kind of give my comment about what's going on with the current leaks of the game and what's going to happen in the future for Battlefield, because it is worrying. That was my main thing with Battlefield, is that everything looks really good with the game, but the problem is that there might be some issues on the horizon, and I think it should be something that we should talk about. Before we get into that, please don't say anything about the fact that I'm using Black Ops 2 gameplay for this video. It's the only thing that I can reliably get footage of right now, because every other game requires like an extremely strong connection, and my ping and connection internet wise has been terrible. So you'll have to forgive me, but just enjoy me trying my best with over 250 ping on servers for Black Ops 2. So anyway, so it seems like Battlefield Labs is actually testing their Battle Royale mode, and it was already leaked that apparently the ring, surrounding the arena and closing in on you instantly kills you the moment it touches you, which I don't think is a bad thing personally. If you're sitting there camping in a building and the storm comes and you're like, yeah, I'll just sit here, and say it's Call of Duty and you sit in the gas, it's like, oh, the gas is here, and you finally run, like, you see a wall of fire coming at you, it should kill you instantly. Not much of a Battle Royale fan. I was never a fan of, Warzone, and I wasn't really a fan of like a lot of the other ones like Fortnite, but I did play, PUBG, and I played Apex Legends, so I've been around the space. I've played my fair share of Battle Royales, and I don't really think that Battlefield needs a Battle Royale, but, just the fact that it has it appeases those people who, oh, we had a Battle Royale. It's like Halo Infinite had people crying for a Battle Royale over and over, and they kept dabbling in it. I'm sure they were trying their hardest to make something work for that game and put a Battle Royale in there, but thank God they didn't, because I think Halo would be even more of a dump than it is already. And yeah, Halo Infinite definitely didn't help with that. But Battlefield's Battle Royale, it doesn't even seem like it really appeases that much to me. They sit here and talk about all this, company jargon. You got the EA spokesperson talking about the game as if it's like, we see a great opportunity to infuse the core Battlefield pillars of class-based squad play, tactical destruction, and vehicle combat into a Battle Royale genre to create high-stakes and adrenaline-pumping gameplay experience. This is Battlefield's twist on the classic formula, so you can expect to find all the core principles of Battlefield taking place within the game mode. Gadgets, explosives, destruction, and vehicles can all be used to secure the win. It seems like the Battle Royale map is going to be 100 players split into 25 4-player squads, and apparently is going to have multitude of just POI points for everybody to join in, and the little twisted towers or whatever you want to call it. There's going to be those fancy spots that everybody, flies into, and it's going to be the big war zone spot that, everyone fights for like the entire game. Then whoever emerges from that more than likely wins the game, but not always. And of course, there's going to be transport vehicles. You're going to have the ATVs and the smaller off-roading vehicles, and I'm sure there's going to be the possibility of tanks and helicopters going to be available as well. The main thing that they seem to be really sending home about their battle royale is the destruction, which Battlefield's always been really good about destruction and just in, evolution in general. So the fact that they're really leaning into the destruction and, encouraging people, it's like, oh, the enemy's held up in one building. It's like, well, whip out all of your explosives, blow off the side of the building and take away all their cover to get an edge over your opponents, which has always been a good kind of aspect of Battlefield. It's something you've never gotten in Call of Duty, and they embarrassingly tried to copy all the destruction stuff for Battlefield and Call of Duty Ghost, and then realized it's like, yeah, this isn't going to work for us, and just slowly never brought that feature back in any other Call of Duties. Really, they seem to love doing that, where they make really cool features and just never bring them back for the next games, and then they just continue to make their games worse and worse. Yay. And then the leaks for the Battle Royale also highlight the fact that the most unique feature of the Battle Royale is going to be the Shrinking Ring, which apparently is the most dangerous ring in gaming Battle Royale history because it kills you instantly upon contact. You'll know when the ring is approaching thanks to the on-screen warning, but you don't have to heed that warning and end up caught in its grips. You are done if you're caught in it. So there's no jumping in and out of it, no using it for cover, and of course, no walking through it. I think the entire idea is kind of interesting for a battle royale, and again, battle royales don't exactly interest me. I think, we're kind of jaded from battle royales being just in every single game that we get, and it's the fact that, if they focus too much on the battle royale itself, you're going to have a weird issue to where, people are going to feel like you're not focusing on the actual multiplayer. And we've already seen games do that. We've seen Modern Warfare 2019. Modern Warfare 2019 ended up having, a great multiplayer. And then, of course, Warzone came out, and it made people realize that they didn't care about the multiplayer at all. All the skins started coming out, and it was obviously made for the Warzone mode. And it just, it just got worse over time. And every single game that's come out, you get a really good little month of enjoying the multiplayer, and then they integrate the game in a Warzone, and then they just kind of completely forget. And each season is just like a number of bundles for the game, skin wise, maybe one weapon and one map. And it's like, well, aren't you happy you're getting free maps and free weapons? It's like, yeah, but you're not even giving us like new stuff half the time. You're just rehashing things from your game that's already there and then smacking it out and being like, here's your new map. And it's usually a remake too, which makes it even worse, because if you sit there and tell me that you're like, oh, I'm gonna bring Studio or firing range from Black Ops 2 or Black Ops 1 into the game, it's like, okay, cool. And then whatever version you end up getting was just sitting on Avalon, which is their battle royale map for Call of Duty. It's just sitting there, and they just draw their outlines and kind of block off all the exits with a crappy fence or something, which, the game's always been like that even since the beginning. But you sit there and realize it's like, oh, you had this the whole time, and you're just kind of drip feeding this to us instead of actually giving us cool and interesting things per update. They couldn't possibly do that. And I want to end today's video with, just kind of the other leaks that were coming out. We've already seen some of the skins that are going to be available for Battlefield 6. And honestly, it's like, it could not bother me less. We have seen far wackier and far crazier skins in other games, including Battlefield itself. Battlefield 2042 tried to have some crazy skins, and they saw so much backlash from that they ended up reverting a lot of them and trying to bring in kind of more grounded skins. They love, every company loves to do that. Treyarch is saying they're bringing in grounded skins for Black Ops 7, which we'll see about that. And then, Battlefield 6 is saying that they're really trying to go for grounded skins. But, they come out with a skin that, it looks a little like the outfit is made of a dark color and then kind of has a stripe of, color across it. And people are upset because they're like, oh, like that's already too much. A color swap, a palette swap for the soldier is too much, and we don't want that. But, you just kind of have to think that people in Battlefield 4 were hunting for a dev skin that made you, have a white shirt on while you ran around. And it was cool seeing those, people running around, because it was actually hard to get that, and it was an earnable free skin. So if you start sitting here and asking us to be charged, $15-20 for a pallet swap in your store, because there's going to be a store, there's going to be a battle pass, there's going to be all the other monetization that they try to put in all of the games now. So if you're not expecting a battle pass or a store, then I really don't know what you're expecting with Battlefield. It's going to be there, and hopefully they keep things grounded. Hopefully they keep things well rounded, and there's all sorts of issues that I could talk about with Battlefield 6. So if you're interested in hearing more, go ahead and leave a comment down below what you think. I'd like to know what you guys are considering. What would be too much for a Battlefield skin? Is the battle royale going to be interesting for you? Do you think the instant kill ring is going to be an issue for the game? What else are we worried about with Battlefield 6? Because I've got a whole slew of things that could be possibly wrong with the game. I'm cautiously optimistic for the game. It was a really fun beta, and I just want to go back to playing a fun FPS, and Call of Duty just isn't fun anymore. And in fact, a lot of FPS games have not been fun for a while now. So anyway, that's all I got for today, guys. Hope you all enjoy. Leave a like on the video, as I said, and subscribe if you're new, because we're on the way to 1,000 subscribers for the end of the year. So yeah, see you guys later. Bye.